Well, the Rockies enjoying this one so far. They're up 6-1 as we go to the top of the third inning, along with Mark Stott, Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman and the Commissioner of Major League Baseball. Our pleasure to have him to the booth. And I read recently where you're going to make a grand tour of all 30 ballparks in this your final season. Do you get sentimental at all, Mr. Commissioner?
Well, that's a great question. I guess I'll be able to answer that more in September and October and maybe next January when I'm done. But it just, you know, I've enjoyed this, and I having run a team for years, as Jeff knows, I know how important the fans are and all the people that work for it. I talked to the whole Rocky front office today for an hour or so, and I enjoyed myself immensely. And so I want to do this all over, quite frankly. So I'm looking forward to it.
And this is your first stop?
This is my first stop. I've been to Atlanta, although I'm going to go back there to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hank Aaron's home run that eclipsed Babe Ruth. And then I was in Chicago at Wrigley Field for the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field on April 23rd. But I promised them I'd be back for a day, and I will be. But so this is really the first one I'm doing.
So any second thoughts?
No. No, Jeff, I've done this now for 22 years. It'll be over 23 by the time I'm done, and I know I really don't. I thought about it for a long time, but grateful to.
This run catch out in right field by Brandon Barnes to retire Juan Lagares. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you first took the job, you didn't imagine you'd still be in it 22, almost, as you said, 23
No,
years
outside
old.
of Kennesaw Mountain Landis, I've done this job longer than any bitch. I'll tell you a quick story about that. In 1992, it happened in St. Louis on September 8th, and I came back to Milwaukee because Robin Yount was going for his 3,000th hit, and I wasn't going to miss that, obviously. And back and forth, and my wife met me at the airplane, and we had 2 or 3 other owners, and Bobby Brown, who was president of the American League, and she said, well, what does this mean? I said, don't worry about it. It's 2 to 4 months, and I'll be done. Now, you don't think I haven't heard about that for a long time. And so here it is almost 23 years later, and but, you know, we all make errors in timing.
The growth of the game has really come international.
No question.
You know, I was part of that group that went over to Japan in 2000. That was a blast. I had so much fun. And then this year they go to Australia,
which was a great trip, by the way. I mean, a wonderful trip. Tough getting there and tough getting home, but I'm telling you, when you were there, it was spectacular.
Any plans for next year?
Yeah, I said today, and I would tell you guys that we're going to surprise people where we go next year. It's going to be very good. We're not done. We're not quite done yet, so I can't tell you where. But we're getting.
But there is going to be a game.
Oh, you bet.
Okay.
You know, a lot of purists, Bud, when you added the wild card teams and the second wild card team most recently, a lot of purists, at least initially, they didn't want. You know, they were giving you the Heisman.
You bet.
And you never hear that anymore, because certainly you look at your counterparts in the other major sports, and to me it's, you know, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry.
Right. Well, in September of '93, when we did the wild card, man, I took a pounding. Oof. It was tough. I don't mind telling you, it was really tough. I kid Bob Costas to this day about it, but it's not only, think of what the wild card has done for baseball since, and a lot of great history.
For the Rockies.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. And now we've added another team, another set of teams, which will be great. So I'm pleased.